What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Jay Plays. I am Jay Wright, and I want to thank you all so much for joining me for this episode of Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Still a mouthful. All right, it is time for us to figure out what is going to happen at the festival. Will we finally see some horrific events? Probably not, but we'll still get a good story. Highlight! You're the first one here. Thanks for being early. That's funny. I thought at least Yuru would be here by now. Monica is placing little booklets on each of the desks in the classroom. So this is taking place inside the classroom. Really thought it was gonna be outside. I was hoping it was gonna be outside. See some of those really cool trees, those cherry blossom trees. They must be the ones she prepared that have all the poems we're performing. In the end, I found a random poem online that I thought Monica would like and submitted it. Why did we choose one we thought Monica would like? Wouldn't we be more interested in Yuri liking it? Kind of been like our whole journey this game. So that's the one I'll be performing. I'm surprised you didn't bring Sayori with you. Yeah, she overslept again. That dummy. I don't think this is the time to be calling her any kinds of names, Highlight. You'd think that on days this important she'd try a little harder. I say that, but I suddenly remember what Sayori told me yesterday. How did you forget that? How is that not on your mind constantly? And I suddenly feel awful, knowing it's not nearly that simple for her. I only said it because it's the only way I'm used to thinking. But maybe I should have gone to wake her up after all. You should take a little responsibility for her, Highlight. I mean, especially after your exchange with her yesterday. You kind of left her hanging this morning, you know? Exchange? Monica, you know about that? Of course I do. I'm the club president after all. It's not a valid anything. That doesn't tell us anything about anything. But I stammer, embarrassed. Did Sayori really tell her about it that quickly? About how I basically turned down her confession? That makes me really seem like the bad guy here. But I'm the one who knows what's best for her, right? Geez, you don't know the full story at all, so don't worry. I probably know a lot more than you think. Eh? Monica is being as friendly as usual, but for some reason I felt a chill down my spine after hearing that. Also, is this intentional? I don't hear any sound right now, so I'm worried. Is this the game or is this us? Hold on, let me find out. No, we have sound. Just for some reason, there's no music right now. Hey, do you want to check out the pamphlets? They came out really nice. Yeah, sure. I grabbed one of the pamphlets laid out on the desk. Oh yeah, they really did. Something like this will definitely help people take the club more seriously. Yeah, I thought so too. I flipped through the pages. Each member's poem is neatly printed on its own page, giving it an almost professional feel. I recognize Natsuki's and Yuri's poems from the ones they performed during our practice. What's this? I flipped to Sayori's poem. It's different from the one she practiced. It's one that I haven't read before. Oh shit, oh shit, oh Shiba. Percent, get out of my head, 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 get out of my head. Or maybe she also switches up like, get out of my head, 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 get out of my head. And we're not gonna, it basically goes on, you get the point. Get out of my head. Get out of my head before I do what I know is best for you. Get out of my head before I listen to everything she said to me. Get out of my head before I show you how much I love you. Get out of my head before I finish writing this poem. But a poem is never actually finished, just stops moving. What is this? Reading the poem, I get a pit in my stomach. Highlight? What's wrong? Well, first of all, where's the music at? Nothing. This poem feels completely different from everything else Sayori's written, and it's creepy. But more than that, I changed my mind. I'm going to get Sayori, so... Well, alright. Try not to take too long, okay? I quickly leave the classroom. Don't strain yourself. Monica calls that out after me. I quicken my pace. What was I thinking? I should have tried a little bit harder for Sayori. Not a big deal to at least wait for her or help her wake up. Even the simple gesture of walking her to school makes her really happy. Besides, I told her yesterday that things will be the same as they always have been. That's all she needs and what I want to give her. I reach Sayori's house and knock on the door. I don't expect an answer since she's not picking up her phone either. Like yesterday, I open the door and let myself in. Sayori? She really is a heavy sleeper. I swallow. I can't believe I ended up doing this after all. Waking her up in her own house. Isn't that more like something a boyfriend would do? In any case, it just feels right. Outside Sayori's room, I knock on her door. Sayori? Wake up, dummy. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I got bad juju vibes. There's no response. I really didn't want to have to enter her room like this. Isn't it kind of a breach of privacy? But she really leaves me no choice. I gently open the door. Oh shit. What the hell is going on? There's the music. An exception has occurred. File game script. What is going on? What is this? What is this game? What the hell? What the hell? Is this a nightmare? It has to be. This isn't real. There's no way this can be real. They already wouldn't do this. Everything was normal up until a few days ago. That's why. Can we change the photo or the image? That's why I can't believe what my eyes are showing me. I suppressed the urge to vomit. Just yesterday. Where do we go from here? Like, how does the game continue from here? I told Sayori I would be there for her. I told her I know what's best and that everything will be okay. And why? Why would she do this? Oh man, I feel terrible now about that choice, dude. I'm thinking about like, you know, how she like knelt down and like screamed and then like turned and like, oh dude. Oh, that's tough. How could I be so helpless? What did I do wrong? Turning down her confession? That has to have been what pushed her over the edge. Her agonized scream still echoes in my ears. Oh, he's thinking about the same thing I am. That's creepy. Why did I do that to her when she needed me the most? Why was I so selfish? Oh, let's not do this now. Selfish. This is my fault. My swarming thoughts keep telling me everything I could have done to prevent this. I just spent more time with her. Walked her to school and gave her what I know she wanted out of our relationship. And I could have prevented this. I know I could have prevented this. Screw the literature club. Screw the festival. I just lost my best friend. The one I grew up with. She's gone forever now. Nothing I do can bring her back. This isn't some game where I can reset and try something different. I had only one chance, and I wasn't careful enough. And now I'll carry this guilt with me until I die. Nothing in my life is worth more than hers. But I still couldn't do what she needed from me. And now, I can never take it back. Never, 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 never. Oh, hell, end. What? That's it? Monica, yo, something's wrong with Monica. Because she was way too cool about that whole entire thing. She knew what was going on. She knew what the hell was going on. Monica, something's wrong with Monica, dude. Oh, what the fuck is that? Is that Sayori? Why is Sayori Monica? They wait till the end to give me some horror shit? What is this game, man? What is this? What is that? I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you never see yourself making a day, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other. It's the same, okay, it's the same words. Same thing so far. Start a new game. It's an ordinary school day like any other. Mornings are usually the worst, being surrounded by couples and friend groups walking to school together. I don't know what's going on, y'all. I am so lost. Clearly though, like this game is meta as well because like it's clearly computer glitches going on right now. So it's not just, it's almost like we're in a simulation. There's something about Monica. I don't know what it is, but something's wrong with Monica. Morning, meanwhile, I've always walked to school alone. Oh, it's like they erased her. I always tell myself it's about time I meet some girls or something like that. But I have no motivation to join any clubs. I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. There's always the anime club, but it's not like there would be any girls in it anyway. Got like a whole new life. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. There really aren't any that interest me. Besides, most of them would probably be way too demanding for me to want to deal with. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Highlight? Monica? Oh my goodness, I totally didn't expect to see you here. It's been a while, right? And she's acting like we've already met each other, but in this reality, he hasn't met her yet, right? Yeah, it has. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talk, but we were in the same class last year. Oh, okay. Monica's probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically, completely out of my league. So, having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... What did you come in here for anyway? Oh, I've just been looking for some supplies to use for my club. Do you know if there's any construction paper in here? Or markers? I guess you could check the closet. You're in the debate club, right? About that. I actually quit the debate club. Really? You quit? Yeah. To be honest, I can't stand all of the politics around the major clubs. I should probably save this as well, right? As like a different save slot. Whatever it is we're doing. Music went away again. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. In that case, what club did you decide to join? Actually, I'm starting a new one. A literature club. A literature club. Literature? That sounds kind of dull. How many members do you have so far? It's kind of embarrassing, but there are only 3 of us so far. Yuri, Natsuki. It's really hard to find new members for something that sounds so boring. Well, I can see that. But it's really not boring at all, you know? Literature can be anything. Reading, writing, poetry. It's always poetry with you. I mean, one of my members even keeps her manga collection in the club room. Wait, really? Yeah, it's funny, right? She always insists that manga is literature too. I mean, she's not wrong, I guess. And besides, a member's a member, right? Did Monica say G? Hey, highlight? By any chance, are you still looking for a club to join? I mean, I guess so, but in that case, is there any chance you could do me a big favor with the arch, throwing the ass out? I won't ask you to join, but if you could at the very least visit my club, it would make me really happy. Also, I'm surprised that her club doesn't have more members if she is like the most popular girl in school. Please? Like, where's her core group of like girlfriends that the popular girl usually has? Well, I guess I have no reason to refuse. Besides, how could I ever refuse someone like Monica? Sure, I guess I could check it out. Ah, awesome. You're really sweet, Highlight. You know that? It's nothing, really. Shall we go then? I'll look for the materials another time. You're more important. Oh, that quest was so hard, huh? You were really dedicated to find those materials. Weird that the sound keeps going out. And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul to Monica and her irresistible smile. I dejectedly follow Monica across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit. Monica, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. I'm back! And there's the music. And I brought a guest with me. Girl 1. She doesn't even have a name anymore. She's just Girl 1. A guest? Seriously, you brought a boy? Girl 2. Way to kill the atmosphere. Don't be mean, Natsuki. But anyway, welcome to the club, Highlight. I wonder if we're really gonna play through like a whole different story now. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. So, let me guess. You're Monica's boyfriend, right? What? No, I'm not. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes her look like a first-year student. Anyway, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual. And this is Yuri, the vice president. It's nice to meet you. Yeah, we've met before. We've exchanged blood, actually. We're very close. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you. So, I ran into Highlight in a classroom, and he decided to come check out the club. Isn't that great? Wait, Monica, didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? I was going to, well, you know, woo them with cupcakes. Sorry, I didn't forget that, but I just happened to run into him. In that case, I should at least make some tea, right? I'm so not overwhelmed, but so curious, it feels like there's 100 different branches or paths that we could go down for this game. Yeah, that would be great. Why don't you come sit down, Highlight? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens the closet. Meanwhile, Natsuki and Monica, I don't know why I did that, sit across from each other. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monica. So, I know you didn't really plan on coming here. I thought you had 3 girls. Where's the third at? But we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new. And yet, that's exactly what we're doing right now by starting a new game. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature, which is like the whole point of this game. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki? Well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these two. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. He carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot in the middle. Keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? Oh yeah, we love good books. I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know, I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Do we have to build this relationship all over again? We've already done the blood exchange. We're as close as we could possibly get. Maybe not as close as possible, but we're pretty close. So, Highlight, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga, I muttered quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without. Oh, okay, this is the same thing all over again. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. Level. Okay, we read this before. Read this. I'd expect that from you, Yuri. It suits your personality. Oh, is that so? Really? If a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Real horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Oh, why is that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud, and give that back. Fine. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Ah, not a very confident writer yet. I understand. Oh, wait, we did read this before. Okay, so I'm trying to remember what we have read, what we haven't read before. Let's all go and write a poem of our own. Share them with each other. That way everyone is even. Yep. Yep. I think you're right, Monica. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I did decide to take on the responsibility of vice president after all. I need to do my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Highlight? Sure do. I love poetry. Hold on, there's still one problem. What's that? Now that we've reached... Oh, this is when he says I haven't joined the club yet. Never said I would join this club. Monica may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. All three girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But, I'm sorry, I thought... The girls exchange glances before Monica turns back to me. I guess I need to tell you the truth, Highlight. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need 4. And I've been trying really hard to find new members. I thought there was 3 girls. And if we don't find one more before the festival, I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I would feel terrible for letting everyone down in this situation. Besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed. So if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls... Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Oh my goodness, really? You really mean that, Highlight? Yeah. It could be fun, right? You really did scare me for a moment. I mean, if you really just left after all this, I would be super pissed. Highlight, I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Where is Sayori? Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay? Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meetings on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monica looks over at me once more. Highlight, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Throwing the ass back. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I guess I'll be on my way then. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait. Now we have nobody to walk home with. This is so awkward. With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the 3 girls. Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. Didn't seem to work the first time, and I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Also curious, he could be living like a Groundhog Day type thing where you have unlocked a special poem, would you like to read it? Yes? A dream. I was wandering an abandoned warehouse at night. I was lost, looking for an exit. I just wanted to go home. I came upon a huge empty room, its ceiling and walls beyond the deep blackness. My steps were quick in order to hurry to the other side, or to a wall, anything. Suddenly, the ground was no longer beneath my feet. I stepped into a hole of indeterminate width. I fell for a good 5 seconds before crashing into warm water. Figuring out which way was up, I surfaced myself. The air was humid, and the sounds of my splashing reverberated endlessly. My vision was completely swallowed by the dark. With one hand, I could feel the damp metal wall of the container. My lungs were already getting tired. Somebody was drowning. So, 2 girls to impress now. We've already done Yuri's. I feel like we've done as much as we could for Yuri anyway. I don't know if there's something to find if we were to continue to do Yuri. Like the same thing would kind of happen again, right? So let's try. I'm so confused. Should we keep doing Yuri or should we try Natsuki now? All right, everyone. So you didn't see it, but I've already written a poem before. I went ahead and I did a Natsuki poem. And then as I went back to the classroom, I didn't see anything spoilery or anything like that. It was like the same conversation as last time, except this time Yuri was asking us to read a book instead of accidentally. You'll see, I'm sure, after we do the poem. The point is, I decided to come back because I was like, this game feels like there's so many diverging paths that if we get too caught up in like doing different things, it'll be hard to see everything. And I kind of want to see everything this game has to offer. So I'm going to stay on one path until we complete a single playthrough, meaning I'm going to go all the way through Yuri's until we get an actual end. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to go all the way through Sayori's. And I'm going to go all the way through Natsuki. And then somehow, I guess, figure out how to go all the way through Monika's. So I'm going to do Yuri's again to see if anything changes. Yuri is a empty. Doki Doki. Fickle. Secretive. Frightening. Tenacious. Memory. Oh, I should have done memories. Oops. Fantasy. Ooh, wrong person. What are we doing here? Massacre. Unrestrained. Imagination, maybe? Inferno. Table. Unset, maybe? Pure, atone. Misfortune, death, fatality, essence, scars, Esther. All right, Yuri. Okay, hi again, highlight. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Haha, nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. So this is the exact thing that I saw when I tried to do the Natsuki way. Before I was like, nah, let's go back. She did that before, that's right. I was like, that's weird. Her face is weird. Thanks for keeping your promise, Highlight. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you, making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh, come on, that was also weird. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monika. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki. For some reason, Monika covers up the words here, because everything is weird in this world. Even the classroom looks slanted. It doesn't look straight on anymore. You have a big mouth for someone who keeps manga. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monika and manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki passed back into her seat. I'm sorry, Highlight. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read. Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now. It only feels right for me to do something like that, if you ask. Wait. I didn't mean it like that. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No, it's not that, Yuri. I want to try to be a part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, this is about as far as I got, and then I went and loaded back the poem again. That should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Oh, well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Oh, so we're no longer, okay, the world's back to normal and we no longer read with her, huh? Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Ah, crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused in, I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place, but I'm just rereading a bit of this, so that's the book you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread. Her eyes different? Are they like, her eyes floating off her face? What the what the fuck is, what is going on with your eye? Your eye is coming off. Not for any particular reason. Your eye was floating off your face. Just curious, how come you have two copies of the same book? Ah, well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy two of them. Ah, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about anyway? Well, I look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about this religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison, and the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... Oh, that might be a little bit of a spoiler. I don't remember that part. That seems a little bit more gruesome than what she originally told us. But anyway, I'm really into it. The book, I mean. Something's wrong with her, too. Something's wrong with everybody in this damn club. Not the thing about the limbs. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Ah, are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Highlight? Of watching people tear people apart and affix their limbs and start breeding? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that this kind of story, it's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective, maybe a sociopathic perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people, and we're all worthless anyway. Your voice, then suddenly, I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. Is Highlight not seeing or hearing any of this? I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then, but I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, my whole body, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange, and please stop me if I start talking too much. I don't really think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. Yay! That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Yes! I mean, you don't have to, but... What are you saying? What is going on with Yuri? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieve the book that I put into my bag. All right, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to, it's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. All right. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder. We've read this before. It's not a particularly bad thing, maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. I was just bathing in the feeling of your body. Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean, here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's and hold my book between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we lean a little bit, our shoulders almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right to hold open the book. Difficult to turn the page. Here, he's gonna turn the page for us. Yuri takes her arm. What's gonna happen in this image? Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? Huh? To turn the page. Sorry, I think I got a little bit distracted. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, we just assume that I'm gonna finish. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. I feel good. My thumb gently letting go of the page. Hey, Yuri. This might be a silly thought, but the main character reminds me of you a bit. Whoa, her face changed. That's not what her face was last time. That was not what her face was like last time. There's red shit in her eyes, too. Something's wrong with you. This is not Yuri. This is somebody else. Eh? No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. And this is a sociopath book, right? People are killing people in this book. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things she says and all that. That's what you were talking about. We should probably stay. I think Yuri may be psychotic. Sorry, I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? No, never mind. We didn't even get that far yet, so I don't know why that came into my head. Your eyes are red again. Yuri, are you feeling all right? Your eyes are red. Eh? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri puts her hands on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. All right, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? Highlight? Did something happen just now? Yeah, Yuri's freaking out. Yuri is glitching, you're glitching, Natsuki's glitching, Sayori is dead, nobody's talking about that. I swear, what is going on, man? I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything. Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh, no, not really. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing. Throwing the ass back still. Don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming. All right, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other? Huh? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I just figured we'd get started without her. That okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up, I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it into my bag. Nobody's gonna want to read my poem, because the only person that would like it is gone. Hey, Natsuki, come to hate my poem. I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first. Highlight says, highlight, if you're not gonna take this club seriously, then go home. What? Harsh. What, you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? You think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? Yep, next Painful to think about? Next. Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I tell you what to improve, but yeah, we did this already. Fair enough. Each their own. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you'll probably think it's stupid. Probably. It's the same poem. Nothing's changed with Natsuki, at least she seems normal. Told you weren't gonna like it. I do like it. What? Just be honest, I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, let me see your eyes actually, because everyone in high school thinks their writing has to be all sophisticated. Nope, her eyes look normal. Next. Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is. You should, because you're too old to be not caring. Why, Monica's the only person we have. Hey, Monica. Hi, Highlight. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like, okay, we read this before, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? All right, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. Yep, go with the flow. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Throwing that ass back. Don't worry, Highlight. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. Great job, Highlight. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. Doesn't count. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. That's new. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing though, but sometimes I get the impression that she just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. That's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier, I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly the door opens. Yuri! I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Eh? Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed. Alright. Thanks, Monica. I suppose I should go get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident. That's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Okay, this is new. Hole in wall, but he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings. But my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. So maybe she feels like the only way to get out of her situation is through somebody, like maybe Highlight. She's writing Highlight to help her escape something. So what do you think? It's very freeform if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style's gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. It's like she's trying to communicate the truth here, but she can't outright say it. An epiphany. Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. We read that. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your same spin, yep, we read that. Go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. We only have Yuri left, I guess. Hey, Yuri. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. Huh? What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. Huh? I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicate you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her fingers along the words in the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific, right? Yeah, this is the whole same thing. That should be the end of the day, right? Phew, I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club, after all. The song is a bit different. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monica is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Horror and frustration, we read this before. Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing, not smoky, but boom, boom. So we're just gonna be reading a lot of the same stuff, but every once in a while something changes. Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as highlights started showing up. Natsuki. Natsuki, this doesn't involve you. Taking out your own insecurities on others like that. You really act as young as you look, Natsuki. Me? Look who's talking, you wannabe edgy bitch. Oh, here we go. It's changing. Here we go. Edgy. Sorry that my lifestyle is too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend. See? Just saying that proves my point. Most people learn to get over themselves after they graduate middle school, you know. If you want to prove anything, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. You think you can counterbalance your toxic personality just by dressing and acting cute? The only thing cute about you is how hard you try. Whoa, be careful, you might cut yourself on that edge, Yuri. Oh, my bad, you already do, don't you? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck is wrong with your head? Yeah, go on. Let Highlight hear everything you really think. I'm sure it'll be head over heels for you after this. Suddenly, Yuri turns towards me as she just noticed I was standing there. Highlight, she's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. The world is growing fuzzy like a television, guys, and nobody's noticing this. How did I get dragged? But whomever I agree with, but that's going to... Yuri? 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 Yuri! 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 Hi. Hi. Yuri? Okay. Okay. Hi, Monica. Are you gonna fix this? Monica? Monica, are you noticing this? Monica. Hey, Highlight. Why don't we step outside for a little bit? Okay? Sorry about that. I want to know what she's sorry about. Is she sorry about them arguing and putting us in it, or is she sorry about the glitch? They really shouldn't have tried to get you involved. Okay, she's sorry about the argument. It's probably better for us to stay out of this. We'll go back inside once they're done yelling. Some president I am, right? I can't even confront my own club members properly. I just wish I was able to be a little more assertive sometimes. But I never have it in me to put my foot down against others. You understand, right? Anyway, if this makes you want to spend less time with the others, then that's fine. I'd be happy to spend time with you instead. Okay. Suddenly, Natsuki runs out of the classroom. She's crying. She quickly runs away. Oh dear. Well, it looks like they're done. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Yuri is rocking back and forth in her desk with her palms on her forehead. Yuri? I didn't mean it. I believe you. I have no idea what Yuri might have said to Natsuki. Or did. Highlight. Please don't hate me. Please. I'm not like this. There's something wrong with me today. It's fine, Yuri. We know you didn't mean it. Besides, I'm sure Natsuki will forget all about it by tomorrow. Completely. Where's the music? Anyway, the meeting is over, so you can go home now if you want. Yuri looks at me like she wants to say something, but she keeps glancing at Monica, as if for permission. You can go first, Monica. I'd like to stay a little bit longer. I'm the president, so I should be the last one out. I'll wait for you to be done. Well, I'm vice president, so please let me take that responsibility today. It kind of sounds like you don't want me around for something, Yuri. It's not that. It's not that. I didn't get much of a chance to discuss my book with Highlight. It would just be embarrassing with you listening. I guess I don't really have a choice, do I? I'm sorry for causing trouble, but I really appreciate... I don't know what's going on, y'all. I'm losing it. I'm losing it alongside Highlight right now because this world is... Clearly, Monica is the boss. She's clearly in charge of all of this. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what she's running. If it's computer simulation, if it's a program, but it seems like she's trying to escape something using Highlight. But unfortunately, we're all out of time. And there's a lot that's happened in this episode, so we need time to digest anyway. I want to thank you all so much for joining me for this episode of J Plays, and yeah, let's figure this one out, shall we? I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Deuces.